When I was a kid, I always wondered why there were some episodes of the Flintstones where Barney sounded really different. There was normal Barney.
Sit where, Fred? The finance company took back all the furniture, remember?
And different Barney that you didn't hear very often.
Hiya, Fred. Neighbor, pal.
Oh, hello, pal. Come on in.
Then there was Dopey Barney.
Pal. Why, what did I do,
Of
Fred?
course, like a lot of questions I had back then, my parents, my friends had no clue. There was no internet to help me figure out this answer. So as time went on, I did find some books, I did find some stories, and the internet became a thing. The Flintstones originally aired on September 30th, 1960 and ran for 6 seasons and over 150 episodes on ABC until 1966. It was the first primetime animated series and promised fun for the kids, but also had some adult-themed humor. It was the longest-running primetime cartoon until The Simpsons took that title in 1997. The Flintstones found its humor in the prehistoric characters miming modern-day events of post-war America. Urban sprawl, debt, keeping up with the Joneses were all popular themes in Bedrock. The show had over 100 other characters besides Fred, Wilma, Barney, and Betty. Some of these characters were voiced by their real-life portrayers of personalities, like Anne Margaret, who voiced Anne Margrock, Elizabeth Montgomery, who actually came to the show to voice Samantha. After its cancellation, of course, the show played in heavy rotation for decades due to it being syndicated, introducing the series to whole new generations of viewers. You seriously could not turn the dial during the first 35 years of my lifetime without seeing the Flintstones on some channel somewhere most of the day. Mel Blanc was the voice of Barney Rubble. Mr. Blanc was a powerhouse of voices and brought life to many cartoon characters over the years. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Tweety, Sylvester, and the majority of the other Warner Brothers characters. He also worked in radio on a dozen or so shows, including his own show, The Mel Blanc Show. The first voice change occurred during Season 1. Barney starts out with an entirely different voice than the voice we have all come to know. And while I still can't find a definite answer as to why Mel Blanc made the change, the rumor is that he was asked to make Barney's voice sound as close to Ed Norton's voice as possible and, at first, refused. He didn't want to steal a voice from another actor. Norton was a character on The Honeymooners, the template for the Flintstones. He was portrayed by actor Art Carney. If this is true, then it appears as if Blanc changed his mind over the course of the first season, as the voice changes considerably. This accounts for 2 of the voices of Barney, but what about the third? In January 1961, Mel Blanc, voice of Barney Rubble, Dino, and other characters in the Flintstones, was involved in a serious auto accident. Mr. Blanc was on Sunset Boulevard in the area known as Dead Man's Curve in Los Angeles. Yes, that Dead Man's Curve. He was knocked unconscious and had to be cut out of the driver's seat after an oncoming motorist lost control and destroyed Blanc's car. He required surgery on his legs and was in a coma for 21 days. It was reported in March of '61 that Blanc was still in a cast from his chest to his toes and would be immobilized for another 90 days. He stated, "I broke just about everything a guy could break in that wreck. I fractured bones in my spine, arms, legs, chest, and even my head." He was hospitalized for 70 days and received thousands of letters from fans, mostly about Bugs Bunny. During the same interview, Mr. Blanc stated that the Flintstone production company was supposed to come to his home where he would do voice work right from his bed. He stated, "It's very dull laying here. I have to stay flat on my back. But I have a nice view of the Santa Monica Canyon and the ocean. So I just look at the view and read the get well letters. There are still about 4,000 letters I haven't had a chance to read yet." Through all of these injuries, his voice was not affected. While Mr. Blanc was incapacitated, Dawes Butler voiced Barney Rubble part-time. Butler, like Blanc, was prolific, voicing dozens of well-known characters over the years. Captain Crunch, Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw, Spike the Bulldog, just to name a few. The episodes he voiced specifically were from Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9. He had previously voiced Barney and Fred in the pilot when they were still named the Flintstones.
Hiya, Fred.
And what are you made up for?
I'm gonna practice spear fishing.
Oh, you can't lose.
By October of that year, it was announced that Blanc was suing the city of Los Angeles for $500,000, noting that the city allowed the curve to remain in dangerous condition. There were 6 fatal accidents in 1960 over this same curve, and 26 total accidents on this curve over a 2-year period. The lawsuit prompted the city to allocate funds to finally fix the dangerous curve. Mel Blanc went on to fully recover and voice characters right up until his death in 1989 at 81 years old. When I was a kid, I found it so hard to believe that one man could do so many voices, to the point where I thought adults were lying to me when they said it. But as I looked further into the past and into the history of the animated voiceover artist, I realized many of them voiced several characters to the point where it was just mind-blowing to me. I have several stories like this one rolling around in my head that I've researched over the years. If you have one you're thinking of, you'd like to see a video on, leave it down in the comments. Once I get through some preliminary stories, I'll see what I can do. Have a great day.